There are a lot of pressures to kill yourself in the gym, start a new drastic diet, and do all kinds of things in the new year. So, today I want to share a chat that I just had over on Instagram with you about how to work smarter and not harder in the new year. Welcome back to the Sarah Kleiner Wellness YouTube channel. Today, I'm sharing a live stream that I just did over on Instagram. But I also wanted to let you know I ran a contest through the live stream. I only had one winner. I was going to pick two, but I'm going to run this contest from today, December 31st, to tomorrow, January 1st at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. So anybody who buys a course, doesn't matter which one, you are entered to win an upgrade to the holiday bundle, which I had one person I announced at the end of the stream who won that, but I'm going to choose one more person. And then if you buy a holiday bundle, those are available through tonight at midnight, December 31st. I'm going to upgrade one of those people to the bundle of all my courses that's worth $1,300, and you get a lifetime membership to my membership group. So there are also a few little announcements in the beginning of this video. And I also want to apologize if you are on my newsletter list. I have been losing my mind just a little bit over the last few days, trying to work from home and having family in my face asking me for things. And so I've made a few errors on emails, and I apologize for that. Hopefully after next week, there will be less of that. And the other thing I want to apologize for is you could probably hear a bunch of beeping in this video. I'm in the bedroom, and the security system, anytime someone opens the door, there's a beep. And I think someone must have gone in and out of the house maybe 30 times. So this is a fun little video where I try not to completely scream and lose my mind at my family and keep my cool. Hope you enjoy it. Have a fantastic Happy New Year. Hello, everyone. Happy New Year's Eve. I hope you're having a beautiful, beautiful Sunday. I saw this meme that it said 2024 starts on a Monday, so she must be serious about getting to work. I thought that was funny. So welcome to the live stream. Today I'm going to talk about how to work smarter and not harder in 2024. Before I start the stream and wait for some people to come on, I'm going to make a few announcements. So the first announcement is that my December deals, my holiday specials, it's linked up in the top link in my bio. Those are expiring tonight. I'm doing like 40% off of my nutrition course, and so that won't be offered again. The second announcement is that my dear friend Carrie Bennett and I are doing a health transformation summit on January 25th through the 30th. It's completely free to watch and sign up. There's a link for that in my bio, and we've really handpicked our favorite people. If you're familiar with my friend Carrie, she's at Carrie B Wellness. She takes a lot of what I talk about, but it's way, way, way more scientific. If you like all the science and nerdy stuff, she's the one to follow. So that is happening January 25th through the 30th, and you can sign up for free. The next thing is that I am also doing a free Zoom information session. I'm offering a 6-week mentorship / course for anybody who wants to create and run their own online business. That's going to be happening on January the 12th. Now, I've never done anything like this before, but I've had a lot of people ask me if I would. So it's something new for me, but that's going to be happening on January 12th. So if you want to sign up for that, that's in my bio. And I think that's it. The last thing is I'm running a contest through this live stream. So if you're watching, I'm going to pick two winners through this live stream. At the end, I'm going to announce them. So if you purchase a course, any course, it doesn't matter which one, during the live stream, I'm going to upgrade you to a holiday bundle that's worth over $500. And then if you buy a holiday bundle, that's the top link in my bio, I'm going to upgrade one person to the bundle of all my courses that's worth over $1,300. So I think that's it for announcements. Welcome, everyone. So let's talk about this whole idea of working smarter instead of harder, because I think that there's a lot of pressure from society and then on social media to do these huge drastic changes in 2024 and to adopt a gym routine to go to the gym at 5 o'clock in the morning and work out really hard and, take all these new supplements and detox and cleanse and just do these really drastic things. And what I find with people is that can actually, a lot of the time, backfire. Because number one, it can make you sick if you try too hard, if you push yourself too hard. And then number two, a lot of that stuff is just really not super sustainable. So what I have learned over the last year, and I've talked about this a few times just on different podcasts and YouTube videos, is that you have to work smarter and do the things, the small things that make the biggest difference. And I think that what's really missing in the nutrition space, in the health space, is the fact that we are beings that are intelligent, that rely upon signals from our environment. We rely upon signals of light from our environment, and that every single cell and organ system, you've heard me probably say this before if you're not new here, has a circadian clock in front of it. The other thing that people don't really understand in the nutrition and health space is that your hormones, your microbiome, your gut, all of those things, they shift throughout the day. So a lot of people will talk about women, we have a 28-day cycle. Well, yes, we do, but everyone has a 24-hour cycle where your hormones are supposed to release at specific times, your gut is supposed to repair at specific times, all these different functions are supposed to happen at these specific times. And your body is heavily relying upon the light signals from your environment to trigger those things to happen. Someone wants to know, what exercise do I participate in my protocols, and why? So if someone is super leptin resistant, I'm going to have them do more gentle things to begin with until we fix that broken AMPK pathway. People are doing a lot of hard training. This is why I don't love the let's slack off for the last couple months of the year, become metabolically unhealthy if we weren't already metabolically unhealthy, but just go from this place of not feeling well, metabolically unhealthy, to killing yourself in the gym and doing high intensity interval training workouts. If you're leptin resistant, your AMPK pathway is broken, right? And the energy on your body is unable to communicate with your brain. And so doing these things, which can be helpful, not against high intensity interval training at all, but doing really hard workouts to start off with, if you're already not in really good health, if you're really leptin resistant, is a lot of times going to be counterproductive, right? It's going to make you feel bad. And it's not going to be sustainable. And in the long run, you're not really helping yourself. So it's different. I don't give anyone a specific exercise protocol. I do have a exercise program that is on sale through tonight for 30% off. That's in my December specials, linked in my bio, that I did with my friend Coach Rob Jacobs, who's also speaking at the Health Transformation Summit. And we go through that program and talk about hormones as they relate to exercise, how to exercise if you have really dysregulated cortisol, if you have issues with your sex hormones, men and women as well. And we have 2 programs in there. We have a program for people who have really not been able to work out for a really long time and they're trying to get back into it. And then we have a workout program that's 12 weeks long. That's a gym program for people who want a strength training program to help them build strength. And Rob actually used to train me back in 2017, 2018. He's a friend I've known in person. He's probably one of the smartest people I've ever met. So he's really wonderful. We have that exercise program. But for most people, if you're super leptin resistant, if your body is not operating properly, I don't want you killing yourself in the gym. Now, yes, go to the gym, do some gentle things. You can weight train, but you don't need to be killing yourself in the gym. And that's, again, part of this whole theme about working smarter and not working harder. So really establishing, and I think the other thing that people forget this time of year is that we're in winter. So I did a reel on that this morning that it basically said your body is not stupid, it's confused, right? If most people spend 90% of their time indoors under artificial lights, with heat going. Nothing wrong with central heat and air. I'm not knocking that at all. It's a lifesaver. It's wonderful, especially if you live in like Canada or somewhere crazy that's just like ridiculously cold. So definitely not knocking those things. But the problem becomes that, as I mentioned in the very beginning of this live stream, your gut, your thyroid, your hormones, all of these things, they shift, your microbiome. All these things are supposed to shift seasonally, and they shift over the course of a day. So when you're living indoors under artificial lights, the Kelvin is usually around 5,700 to 6,000 Kelvin. That's what these fluorescent LED bulbs are. That's the same intensity of the sun during the middle of June in summer solstice. So you're telling yourself, because light actually tells your brain what time of day it is, what time of year it is. Yes, I've heard of functional patterns. I think that they're great. I think they're fantastic. Love functional patterns. Big fan. We actually have a functional patterns person speaking at our Health Transformation Summit. There's a free sign-up link in my bio if you're interested in that. But again, you're spending all your time indoors underneath these lights that are telling your body, because the light that comes in through the retina tells your brain, it's called the suprachiasmatic nucleus, this pathway, time of day, time of year, and then your body releases specific hormones on this circadian clock. Your microbiome shifts. The ability of your gut to heal and repair also depends on these light signals. So when you're doing that, and it's January, right? We're supposed to have less light available. We're supposed to be a little bit more cold. So I'm not telling anyone to go outside and like roll around in the snow, especially if you're not cold adapted. But like step outside every now and then, even if it's for 30 seconds. Give yourself time throughout the day so your body can actually experience what time of year it is, what time of day it is, so that those hormonal processes can actually work more appropriately. And in January and in December, we're in the heart of winter, when we're really supposed to be in deep repair mode. We're really supposed to be in this mode of more scarcity, of eating higher fat and not loading ourselves with a bunch of bananas and tropical fruit smoothies. I don't know about you guys, but I used to do the smoothie diets starting in January, the detox juicing smoothie diets in January, which is completely inappropriate because, again, your body, your microbiome is supposed to be in this winter mode where you're having more winter foods, warmer foods, soups, things like that. You're not supposed to, and we have less UV light available. Most people don't have any UVB light, and they're eating foods that are super high in deuterium. Now, deuterium is another topic that we're going to be talking about at the Health Transformation Summit. My friend Dr. Sarah Pugh is going to do a whole chat on it. And you can also go on YouTube and search for Dr. Laszlo Boros. He talks a lot about deuterium as well, and how it actually accelerates aging and is correlated in a host of diseases and metabolic issues. And so during the winter, a lot of people are eating these super high deuterium foods, and they don't have strong UVB light, and UV light, really strong UV, that is supposed to help your body to deplete deuterium. So I always say deuterium is really neither good nor bad. It's that our bodies are supposed to have certain foods at certain times of year. We're supposed to go into more rest and repair mode at certain times of year. And what do? We say it's January 1st, let's go to the gym at 5 a.m., do high intensity interval training, fast, skip breakfast, all that stuff, right? And I have no problem with fasting. I just did a live stream last week about fasting and how I think it can be a really great strategy. But like I mentioned with the high intensity interval training, that if that pathway is broken, the stored energy on your body and your brain are not communicating, that means you're leptin resistant, then you're really going to cause yourself a lot more harm than good. So I love fasting. I'm a big fan of it. I think it can really help people, but you have to get the foundations down first. I think that's really, really, really important. So this is all part of how we start to work a little bit smarter instead of harder in 2024. So we start with the signals that we're giving our body, the inputs that we're giving our body. You ask yourself, does my body know what time of day it is? Does my body know what time of year it is? Am I feeding myself accordingly? Am I acting accordingly to that? Because if that's off, if those signals are off, knowing that every single cell and organ system in your body has a circadian clock in front of it, your gut, your microbiome, all of these things. Someone says the spinach smoothies wrecked my gut and injured my kidney. Yeah, I'm not a fan of throwing a bunch of foods out of season foods into a blender and drinking them at all. It's not really a great health strategy. It can really cause damage. So again, just giving your body those correct signals, I think is really foundational. You can do all the supplement protocols, you can do all of the seed cycling and all of the hormone protocols, but if your body still doesn't know what time of day it is, what time of year it is, those your body clock, which your hormones, endocrine system, gut, all of those things are very, very dependent upon releasing things at specific times of day, month, and year, and repairing things at specific times of day, month, and year. It's going to be a problem. And I harp a lot on melatonin, not the melatonin that you take. I'm not 100% against people taking melatonin. I just don't like it to be an everyday, all the time thing. I think it can be helpful if someone is dealing with a chronic illness or has something going on and they're working with a practitioner to make sure that they're dosing that appropriately. But the winter time, especially right now, we're in the heart of winter. If you're in the northern hemisphere, your body's supposed to be making more melatonin. You're supposed to be having more darkness. You're supposed to be repairing more. Again, going back to that circadian timing, melatonin is supposed to be released. Your body is supposed to undergo what's called autophagy and apoptosis. Everybody in the fasting world talks about autophagy. Some of them talk about apoptosis, which is like cell death, essentially. If your cells don't die, they eventually can become cancerous. A cell needs to die. So these things are important to happen. So you don't want this eternal life of a cell, because again, that's where we have issues like cancer, right? But this is why things like cancer, things like diabetes, things like Alzheimer's, depression, anxiety, all of these things are heavily correlated with artificial light at night. So that's one of the simple things. One of the simplest things you can do is get a really good pair of blue blockers. I have a couple of brands linked in my bio, and you could also get Spectra 479s on Amazon. That's an inexpensive brand that I've actually tested with a spectrometer to see that it actually works. Get a pair of those. That's what's really going to help you. Someone says, what if you're postmenopausal and do not produce any melatonin with very deep, I'm not sure if I understand that question. You're on bioidentical hormone replacement. To me, I want to know what someone says, what is good circadian health? To me, it's sometimes a lot more than meets the eye. You've got to be, getting sunrise in your eyes. That's important. That does some hormonal things, right? So it tells your body, let's stop making melatonin, start making cortisol. And then UVA light is absolutely crucial. UVA comes after sunrise, absolutely crucial for specific neurotransmitters like serotonin that get converted into melatonin for that night's sleep. So if someone's telling me I have a perfect circadian routine, maybe they're thinking about their bedtime routine, they're wearing the blue blockers, they're doing all this other stuff, but they're not getting a lot of morning light, that UVA window is hugely important for melatonin production that night, and most people don't know that. The other couple of things that can stop your body from making melatonin that I've talked about several times on this channel is eating too close to bed, too late in the day, having your insulin, because when your insulin is up, it's difficult for your body to make melatonin. So you're eating something that's causing your insulin to go up, your body can't make melatonin. Dopamine blocks your body from making melatonin. Are you on your phone? Even if you have your phone screen on red and blue blockers on, are you scrolling? doing something that's making your body release dopamine. So I don't have an issue necessarily with people taking hormone replacement if they're working with a practitioner that's regularly drawing labs to measure these things. I prefer transdermal because there's like I've mentioned, there's a circadian timing to our hormones. The hormones are supposed to be released at specific times of day. And you can, with a transdermal, you can kind of titrate the amount that you need. I don't like people necessarily using pellets or injections because once you inject that, you're kind of stuck with it for a while, right? Especially the pellets. And it may be way, way too much. And that's where I've seen a lot of really crazy side effects happen with people. So that's my answer to that one. Anyone taking longer than usual healing from the flu? I've not been myself for 13 days. I've heard this a lot from people, that they're having issues recovering from stuff. I mean, yeah, it seems to be a common thing going around right now. I would just really up the minerals, up the rest, red light therapy, try to get some grounding, try to make sure your circadian rhythms are really, really, really strong, doing all those things I just mentioned and talked about. What if we don't wake up at sunrise? Is morning sunlight when we wake up still helpful? Yeah, I mean, yes, it's still going to be helpful, but there are specific colors in sunrise and at different intensities at sunrise and during that UVA window. Sorry, my husband keeps going in and out of the freaking house. My family's driving me crazy. Anybody else? Anyone else right now have a family driving them crazy and ready for everyone to go back to work and school, please? Sorry, going back to that. I'm just sorry for all this beeping going on. I'm in my bedroom and the security system beeps every time someone opens a door. Anywho, light frequencies, intensities shift and change throughout the day. That's why being under the same light, being indoors with the windows where you're getting a lot of the blue, red, and near infrared blocked out by that glass, that's why it can cause circadian mismatch and confusion in your body, right? So those frequencies and intensities that happen at sunrise are specific to those hormonal processes going in your body in the right order. So if you really have dysfunctional hormones, if you have dysfunctional health, one of the key things I have people really do is get out there at sunrise, even if it's, only a couple minutes, get that signal into your eyes. Allow your body to get that correct signal. Same thing with the UVA window, which happens next after sunrise, is getting out there. Again, there's specific frequencies going at specific intensities, colors, the amount of blue light. Everyone talks about blue light. I talk about blue light and unfiltered blue light and how it's unhelpful because it does tell your body to make cortisol, right? So light's a signal, tells your body to make cortisol. So if your overhead light is as bright as the noonday sun in June, summer solstice, which we're not even supposed to be getting in the winter time, but all of us have these crazy, I don't have any. My house is, I have a ton of windows and I don't have a bunch of overhead lights, have fires, red lights, stuff like that going on. But if you are, in that sort of environment all day, your body is going to be confused. And this is what a lot of hormone experts miss. So the amount of blue light that's available at sunrise is slowly going up, right? And that's how your cortisol is supposed to start. There's a lot of cortisol experts and nervous system experts out there now. And they're like, if your cortisol is high, this, that, and the other. Well, okay, cortisol can be high. It's supposed to be a little bit more high in the beginning of the day, and it's not supposed to be high at the end of the day. So when we say high cortisol, are we specifying time of day? Because again, that has a circadian rhythm as well. So the amount of blue light at sunrise and the amount of blue light in that UVA window is telling your body, all right, we're not sleeping anymore. Let's make this specific amount of cortisol. Let's start making sex hormones. Let's make thyroid hormones. Let's do all these really important functions. Let's create specific peptides that are going to help you with pain relief and appetite control and help with inflammation. There are specific things that are being released in those time windows. And that's why that's part of this working smarter, not harder. And I know it's like sounds too simple to be true, but if you're really wanting to, if you have hormone imbalance, if you have weight issues, if you have inflammation, if you have any of those things, these things are key, and they're very simple, very, very simple. Let me see if I have more questions. Let's see. So if you're just joining, I am running a contest during this live stream. I don't know if anybody has gotten anything, and no big deal if anyone doesn't get anything. I'm gonna literally take a hammer to the wall. You're gonna see me crack today with that security system. Who is going in and out of my house 700 times? Okay, so one person has bought a course. So one person that buys a course is gonna get upgraded to a holiday bundle that's worth $500. So I have one person that's entered. And then if you buy a holiday bundle, I'm gonna upgrade one person to the bundle of all of my courses. Do I recommend Dr. Barbara O'Neill's Flu Bomb? I'm not really familiar with that, to be honest with you. I've heard of her. I know a lot of her reels have been going super viral, but I haven't looked into her Flu Bomb. Let me look through some of these questions. What do we do once we get out in the sunrise? I mean, just relax. You know, you can I bring my breakfast out there most mornings, and I have a screened in patio. I wrap up because it's cold. I bring a blanket out there. Grounding is really fantastic to do. If you're out there in the morning, there's less radiation, so your body has more ability to absorb those electrons from the earth. And I'll talk a little bit more about grounding. If we are outside before sunrise, say half an hour before sunrise, should we be wearing orange glasses? No, I don't think so. If you're outside, I'm not super worried about it. Now, if you're driving around and you've got a bunch of like lights, you know, from traffic and other cars going in your face, I would wear yellow glasses. I would never drive with orange or red glasses. That could be super dangerous. But if I, for any reason, have to be out driving before sunrise, I'm gonna wear yellow glasses. I'm not super worried about it if I'm just walking around, but yeah. Do you have any advice for someone with high cortisol, moon phase, weight gain, and gentle steps to get in the right direction? Y'all are laughing at me from saying I'm taking a hammer to the wall. I want to say one more thing before I answer that question. If you're on my newsletter email list, I'm so sorry. The last 3 days in a row, my family members, while I'm trying to write a quick little email, have been like in my face. My husband showing me something on Twitter X 15 times while I'm writing. My daughter showing me a video of someone making cupcakes no less than 100 times. My toddler dumping out on my homeopathy, and I'm like trying to write a newsletter. And like 3 days in a row now, there have been like glaring errors in my newsletters, and I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for that. Okay, so let me get back to this question. Do you have any advice for someone with high cortisol, moon phase, weight gain? So yes, absolutely. Work on, and this is the same person that asked me, can I just go outside when I wake up? The first thing I'm going to tell you is get out there at sunrise. If it means sitting out there with a blanket, you know, and a warm drink, and that's what happens, do it. If it means opening a window and going to sit by the window, no glass, but just have the window open so you see that light happen. You don't have to see the actual sun. You could just be out there as that light changes. And then UVA. UVA is really, really huge, huge, huge. So that morning routine, and then also the breakfast. Having breakfast with protein and fat that's going to stabilize your blood sugar is really important if you have high cortisol. That morning routine is absolutely crucial. Hydrating with minerals, clean water with minerals in it. I have a water highlight on my page that kind of talks about the minerals I use. I have a whole hydration course also. So those things in the morning: hydration, light, sunrise, and UVA light, breakfast. Those are the things I'm going to do. And then your evening routine is also important. And then throughout the day, if you can just stick your head outside. Okay, what time is it? I'm seeing what time of day it is, right? If you work somewhere where they have those overhead lights I was talking about a little bit earlier, get a pair of yellow blue blockers. You know, and make sure you take breaks. Don't keep those blue blockers on all day, the yellow ones, because that can make your cortisol go too low. But take breaks to go outside. Grounding is hugely impactful for bringing cortisol levels down and turning on parasympathetic nervous system. They've done a ton of studies to show how the blood goes from like all clumped together when you're inside and when you're around a bunch of non-native EMF disconnected from the earth, and how the blood just starts flowing and is this beautiful, beautiful unclumped within seconds of your body touching the earth. So yes, grounding, well, a lot of the studies say you need 45 minutes a day, but you can do that in 5-minute bursts. You can do that in 2-minute bursts. I like to make it kind of like a game, right? Like, okay, I have a break here. I'm going to go outside for 2 minutes and be barefoot on the earth, or wear grounding shoes. There's a couple of brands. Bahe is one that I like, and Harmony 783 is another brand if it's too cold to be barefoot where you are. But you can also get those electrons and get that parasympathetic response by touching a tree, your hand touching a tree, or a rock that's touching the earth. There's all these conductive things, and these can help you to turn on your parasympathetic nervous system. So those are things I would do during the day, and then at night I would make sure you get the blue blockers on, get into darkness, restore, repair, get away from devices, those types of things. Those are the things I would do, and I didn't even tell you what to eat. I didn't give you a meal plan. I didn't give you any of that stuff. Yes, there are different things that I recommend eating. I have a whole entire nutrition plan, right, that you can get. It's 40% off through tonight. It's in my December specials. But it's not necessary for you to do that on day one. I am big. I used to be like food, diet, nutrition. Boom, boom, boom. Do it right or you're just ruining your life. Okay, yes, I definitely believe there's a more ideal way to eat, 100% for your cortisol. You want your blood sugar to be balanced, but start putting these routines into place with light first. And you're gonna find that your neurotransmitters are a lot more supported because it's in that UVA window, serotonin, dopamine, again, all these peptides that help with inflammation, that help with anxiety, that help with pain. Those are all happening, released during that UVA window when your body is getting, your eyes are getting that correct signal from that specific frequency and intensity and all those colors read in UVA. So I hope that was super helpful. And thank you guys for sticking with me through the security system going off 7,000 times. What was the name of the Amazon blue blocker glasses? Spectra 479. There are other brands that are inexpensive, but that's one that I've actually tested. So that's one that you can find on Amazon. My thought was that it's a bit cold for grounding. Yeah, I mean, you can wear grounding shoes, no problem. And I've even had some people take a pot of boiling water and pour it on the ground and melt snow, or even get the ground warmer so they can stand out there and ground. Let's see, the sun rises here at 9:15, and I normally wake up around 6:30. Would you recommend to eat, say, an hour after waking up, or waiting the 2 to 3 hours for sunrise for breakfast? In that situation, especially if your hormones are really dysregulated and you have to be up at 6 or 6:30 for work, you know, you got to be out the door and do all that stuff. I don't have a problem with someone eating if they're hungry when they wake up at that time of day, especially if the sun's not coming up till like 9:15. Because what can happen if you wake up and you're rushing around and you're kind of in this like cortisol mode is you really can start pumping those stress hormones, even in the absence of light. And I'm sure you're probably got like some bright lights going on overhead and things like that. So I like to have a nice blood sugar stabilizing breakfast when you're waking up. And a lot of people don't have the luxuries during the winter time, if you're living in a really extreme northern latitude where sun's coming up a lot later, of waiting. I'm lucky. I live at, the 33rd latitude. The sun comes up right at 7:30 here, so eating breakfast at 7:30 and sitting outside is just fantastic for me. But again, I'm in the 33rd latitude, so I have a little advantage on that. Do you have any thoughts on training/movement, things like functional patterns compared to I love functional patterns. I think functional patterns is a great program. I think I mentioned my friend Carrie Bennett and I are doing a health transformation summit. It's going to be happening the end of January, and we've got a functional patterns person coming to talk for free. So there's a sign-up link in my bio if you want to get that summit when it comes out on the 25th. And I have a quantum exercise course with my friend Rob Jacobs, who was super close with Charles Poliquin. If you're in the fitness world, you may have heard of Poliquin. He did pass away a few years ago. But Charles named Rob one of his top 100 strength coaches in the entire world before he passed away. And so Rob literally is one of the smartest people I know. He's amazing in quantum biology and circadian biology. So we partnered and created an exercise course that teaches how to exercise for your hormones, has a couple different programs, a beginner and then a gym program. And that one is 30% off through tonight at midnight. That's in my holiday specials. That's linked in my bio. So a couple of options there. And then let's see more questions. If you don't see a sunrise because of where you live, then red light. I'm not sure what you mean by that, because even if there's clouds, even if there's rain and fog, there's still a sunrise. I think a lot of people don't understand that 80% of UV light can get through that. Red and near infrared light can get through that. So it may seem like it's dark, cloudy, and gloomy outside, but your body still gets what it needs during that time. So still go outside. The reason I don't tell people to use a red light therapy machine instead of sunrise is that you're missing blue, green, you're missing these other colors. And what I said earlier about cortisol, your body relies on that intensity and strength of the blue light that's available in sunrise and UVA to tell your body to start making cortisol and all these different hormonal processes. So red light, if you're gonna do it, love red light therapy, huge fan. I have a panel linked in my bio that I absolutely love. But I always say, get the natural sunlight, get those signals happening first before you do red light therapy. Let me scroll through to some of these questions. Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming and hanging out with me here on New Year's Eve. Sorry I got disgruntled. And my husband, I think he was the one going in and out of the house, and he just walked in and out. Let's see. Am I still doing carnivore? No, I haven't done carnivore in a very long time. It was not a good diet for pre-pregnancy, during pregnancy. I still have days where I do carnivore, but as like a 365 days a year, I don't do carnivore. Support people who do carnivore if they want to do that. And I'll recommend it every now and then to someone who's got autoimmune, has a lot of inflammation, as something to do for a little bit of time, but I no longer am 365 days a year carnivore. I eat more local, seasonal, according to time of year, looking more at those types of things, a little bit more in alignment with like Weston A. Price and some of those things. Let's see, how much time do you need to spend outside when the sun is coming up? As much as you can, honestly. The longer, the better. I know that's not really a favorite answer, but the longer that you can spend outside, the better with sunrise and with the UVA light. I think the UVA light, if you have a time when you're gonna say, I'm gonna take a walk in the morning, or I'm gonna be outside more during the morning, I'm gonna pick a chunk of time, I would get some sunrise, 2 to 5 minutes, and then spend more time in that UVA window when the sun is between 10 and 30 degrees. The Circadian Life app can tell you when this is for you, what time this happens for you, because it's going to shift and change throughout the whole year. So sun right now is coming up at 7:30 in the morning, closer to 8 where I live here in the 33rd latitude. Come summertime, sun's going to be coming up at 6 a.m. in June and summer solstice. So it shifts and changes throughout the year. So a lot of people say, what time is sunrise? What time is UVA? Well, it depends on where you live, and it depends on what time of year it is. That's why I don't give out a prescription of a diet, because I don't know where you live. I don't know what time of year it is. And I don't know how leptin resistant you are. If you're really leptin resistant, I'm going to tell you to eat differently than if you're metabolically healthy, you have muscle, you're hormonally healthy. The diet's going to look a little bit different. Does it typically take a few months to notice a difference from better circadian habits? Not necessarily at all. I mean, I see people in my 21-day leptin reset program literally feeling better within the first week, sleeping better within the first week. I have multiple testimonials on my page from people who are in menopause and perimenopause, the time when supposedly sleep is supposed to be the worst, that they say, hey, I'm sleeping through the night for the first time in 20 years. What gives? I'm like, yeah, you got these correct signals. You started working smarter, not harder. And some of these people are like, I haven't even started the nutritional stuff yet. So this is where my whole theme of today, I jump around a lot and I love answering questions, but I hope I'm really clear on working smarter, not harder, is that the signals that you're giving your body in the morning, throughout the day, at night, from light, are going to make more of a difference to you than the new fancy supplement protocol for most people, detoxing, cleansing, all this stuff from what I've seen, obviously with myself, but also with, at this point, thousands of people who are doing this work. So it's very, very, very helpful to do these things, and it can make a really, really huge difference. Let's see. As far as diet goes, do you recommend full carnivore, or can I add in some low carb veggies? Yeah, I mean, again, like what I said a little bit ago, local, seasonal. You know, a lot of women, I don't see, and this might get me some hate, I don't see benefits from doing carnivore all the time. I actually see negative hormonal repercussions if they try to do carnivore and fasting all the time. It can definitely backfire. So yes. And I have recommendations and guidelines in my 21-day program, as well as in my nutrition program. Let's see. Can you ground on concrete? Also, if my house is up some stairs, it's the first floor, but it's still upstairs. Water break, sorry. 9 times out of 10, yes, you can ground on concrete, absolutely. And I recommend getting a conductivity meter. Intuition Physician sells them, pretty inexpensive, maybe like $50, I think. And you can test to see how conductive the surface that you're touching is, right? Are you actually grounding? And that's what I recommend, because I can ground in my basement. I can actually ground in my bathroom up here on the 3rd floor on the stone, believe it or not. So it's always worth testing to see if you're actually able to ground in those specific areas. Let's see. Can you explain the ancient minerals? Oh, if you are following me on Instagram, every night I'm soaking in the ancient minerals magnesium. I don't take a lot of oral magnesium. I take a little bit, but I prefer to get my magnesium transdermally, and I get a lot of stress living in this house with people, like everyone does, living with kids, family, all of that. And so that's how I unwind at night, is a magnesium soak. And I think it's a fantastic thing to do during winter. You get a lot of infrared naturally. So that's basically why I'm in the bathtub with my magnesium. Let's see. Oh, I think that's it. All right, so let me just check this. I'm running a contest during this live stream. I've got 3 people entered so far. So one person I'm going to upgrade to my holiday bundle if you just buy a course. And then if I haven't had anyone buy a holiday bundle yet, no big deal. But if anyone buys a holiday bundle, they're going to be entered to get upgraded to the bundle of all of my courses. Yeah, magnesium baths are absolutely amazing. Oh, no bathtub at home. That's a bummer. Yeah, I didn't really have a good bathtub at my last house. I did have one, but like one of the kids would always poop in it, so I never wanted to take baths. Now I have my own bathtub that nobody poops in. So I'm just looking at my list to see. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to pop them in the chat. But really just the whole thing that I want to get across in today's chat is that, you know, when you're going into a new year, there's a lot of pressure from society, from maybe even internally. You feel like I have to make these huge drastic changes. I have to change my diet. I have to cleanse. I have to detox. People are not necessarily feeling their best right now because they've been kind of eating things they wouldn't normally eat. Their sleep is probably messed up. They've been in the home with family, even if they love their family. Like me, almost exploding on this live stream a couple of times, or my husband opening and closing the front door 50 times. You get like irritated. Your nervous system can get dysregulated. And so when we kind of get in this place of inflammation and dysregulation, there can be this huge urge to do something drastic and do something extreme so we can feel a big change. But what I really want to get across in this live stream is that start with the top-down hormones. Start by looking at leptin, cortisol, and melatonin, and working on that with your light signals, with the inputs that you're giving your eyes, your skin, those things, and understanding that those things, your hormones, your microbiome, all these things shift daily, seasonally, women, 28-day cycle. And when we can respect those shifts and those changes, you actually can have sustainable health results. And that's something I had to learn this year. Had a lot of issues with my daughter, had some hospital stays, have had just a lot going on in my personal life. And I didn't eat perfectly this year. So someone's like, are you carnivore? No, I did not eat perfectly. The thing that I never missed was breakfast, sunrise, and UVA, and blue blockers at night. Those were the things that throughout this year, no matter how crazy things got, I was always doing those. And I look the best that I've looked since before pre-pregnancy. I look better than I did in my 20s, look better than I did in my 30s because of this. Let's see. So sunlight, 10 minutes or so, eating a good breakfast within an hour of waking, then red light for 10 minutes. How does that sound for morning flow? I love that morning flow. Yeah, you get 10 minutes of sunlight. That's amazing. Eat that breakfast. If you want to eat your breakfast outside, that's going to be even better. Maybe get a little grounding, do some red light. Also get UVA. So there's two really important time windows in the morning that you really want to hit, and it's sunrise and then UVA. Those two windows are super important, and you can download the Circadian Life app, or you can get the D-Minder app. Those are both going to be very, very helpful in letting you know what time those things are. So sunrise is when the sun is between 0 and 10 degrees, and then UVA is when the sun is between 10 and 30 degrees. Okay, I'm just gonna check this. I think I'm gonna wrap soon, unless there's any more questions, but I'm gonna go ahead and pick a winner. Do I still? No, I don't recommend. I don't recommend that supplement that's supposed to lower your leptin levels. I have found that lifestyle and these things I'm talking about are far more powerful. The name of the apps, the D-Minder app will tell you the degree of the sun, how much UVA, your UV index, if you have UVB or not. So D-Minder, and then Circadian Life will also tell you this. But Circadian Life has been telling people that there's no UVA available, which is not true, because you always have UVA light available. It's the UVB that a lot of people don't have during this time of year. Now we have UVB here in the 33rd latitude, but go north of where I am, there's no UVB. And UVB is the spectrum that allows your body to synthesize vitamin D. So there's a lot of health influencers out there that say, go outside and get your vitamin D. And I'm like, honey, you're in New York and it's January. You're not getting any vitamin D in New York in January. I'm so sorry to let you know that. Your next vitamin D opportunity is probably not until March. So that a lot of people completely misunderstand how these things work. Someone says, ate poorly last night, woke up, watched sunrise, got a few hours of sun, ate breakfast. Would fasting the rest of the day help with poor choices the night before? Probably not, unless you're very metabolically flexible. Your body is really good at making ketones easily. I don't recommend doing restricting the day after you've eaten poorly, right? You're probably going to be hungry again around dinner time. I would recommend probably eating some dinner, but keeping it away from bedtime, wearing your blue blockers, getting some sleep, and don't beat yourself up over it. That's the most important thing for people this time of year, is don't beat yourself up over things. A lot of people have been not making ideal choices this time of year at all. A lot of people have been super stressed out. A lot of people are looking at their life and comparing it to somebody online, which is complete BS and not even real, and feeling bad about themselves. So don't do that to yourself, right? These things are gentle, easy. Everyone can do them, and they will make you feel better. So I would not punish yourself. What do you think of UVB tanning beds and lights? I think you have to be really careful with those. I think that if you're going to use them, you need to have really good circadian health, because your skin, your eyes, again, all that hormonal process that I've been explaining this whole entire live stream that happens when you're exposed to sunrise and UVA, it also prepares your skin to receive UVB. And so the intensity and colors that are available in the winter are different than the intensity and colors that are available in the summer. So your skin is likely not super conditioned to get UVB. So you got to be careful with those. And I also recommend using a red light therapy panel if you are going to use a UVB light or tanning bed. Red light therapy with that, and making sure you're blocking artificial light at night, wearing your blue blockers, being really careful with those things, because what's the biggest thing that you can find online about artificial light and at night and health concerns is going to be cancer. So everyone talks about how dangerous UV light is, but a lot of the studies have been done on the narrow band UVB lights, right? They haven't been done on the full spectrum of the sun, where all the colors, the red, the near infrared, that actually give your skin and your collagen some protection from UV light. That's not those studies. So I'm very cautious about it. It's a person by person kind of recommendation. Due to the sport I train in, I'm often training a couple hours before bed. Would you still advise not eating after that? I mean, honestly, I would try my best not to eat close to bedtime, just because of the way, if you're struggling hormonally, if you're struggling with your weight, your body is supposed to be healing and repairing at night and detoxing. Everyone's all freaking out about detoxing and cleansing and this, that, and the other. That happens at night when you sleep. And so if your body is still busy digesting food, even if you did work out, it's going to be a lot harder for you to go into those repair programs. So that's the caveat with that. So I know not everyone has to do what works best for them. I think working out is better than not working out. I think moving your body is better than not moving your body. But yeah, that's what I have to think about that. Okay, I'm gonna announce one winner, because nobody bought a holiday bundle, which is no big deal. It's all good. And this person is going to be upgraded to a holiday bundle, which has nutrition, exercise, and the leptin course. So let me find this person. Okay. Oh, sorry, my computer's acting funky. If you guys have any more questions, let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to go in just a minute. All right, the winner is Charlotte Jungblut. I think that's the way to pronounce that. And I'm upgrading you. Charlotte bought the 21-day leptin reset, and I'm upgrading her to the package that has nutrition, leptin, and exercise. That bundle. It's in my holiday bundles, and that bundle is actually like a 50% discount. If you wanted to get all those courses, it's a 50% discount, and that is good through tonight, December 31st, and then those bundles will be gone. So thank you everybody who watched. I hope this was helpful. I'm going to post this on YouTube. And then again, if you're on my newsletter list, I apologize for saying that this link was already available, because it hasn't even been posted yet. So I hope everybody has a really, really lovely, lovely new year, restful. Don't pressure yourself to do all these drastic things. Try to make the small changes. Try to be gentle with yourself, and know that it's winter, that we're not supposed to be in like type A, like kill yourself mode. This is more of a time for introspection and making gentle changes for the rest of the year. Happy New Year, everyone. Talk to you next time.